So we're here at another antique mall, and this is the main entrance. It's a fantastic mall for like primitive, country, Americana, a lot of useful farm items throughout the entire front opening. And this changes so frequently. This changes constantly. Every time I come, there are new and interesting items out here. Great decorative items as well that you can hang up in like an old kind of cottage. And then on the entrance here, as we come in on this side, just incredible. Great shop and really friendly people. Jeremy's way down there already, so I'm gonna have to catch up with him pretty quick. But just wanted to do a quick feed of the very first part of this. Excuse me. And of course glass, why not, since we're in Ohio. And primitives and implements, china, and then we'll come down here. Lots of decorative arts in this booth, which I frequently have shopped at this one and have found quite a few treasures. I think the last time I was here, I found a Viking mushroom, or it was the time before. I love these old rose bowls. I don't know if I have it in this yellow color. I don't think I do, but I really like these. Sometimes you gotta watch the edges on this because they're chipped, but that's a beautiful old rose bowl. Fantastic. Some neat beaded purses. This is an old one. This is a new one. This is older, turn of the century, 1900. And tons of items and really priced right, very affordable. But you can see the quantity of the items that we see here in Ohio. And old record albums. I don't know much when it comes to this, but there's a lot of people that do. Highly collectible. And we'll scoot over here. Take a quick peek. Jeremy, you finding much? What'd you find so far? I have a tendency to always find something in this booth too, because it's kind of more unusual items, things that we don't normally see. That's very interesting, by the way. This is super cool. I love this. Absolutely love the color of that. I love the shape of it as well, and very affordable. I think retail on that should be around 40 something, and that's $29. So this is interesting too. Too bad it's one of a pair. Otherwise I'd be interested in that. And I wonder what this bottle is up here. I must miss that one. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at this bottle eventually. Get that down. And neat ceramic tree in a light blue color. It's interesting. And then a lot more kind of farm implements and tools in this booth, so I normally don't find much. And then interestingly enough, there's some more of these beads that we saw at the last one, but these are priced a little bit higher, so I'm not really interested in those as much. Oh, there's a whole row of them, but I don't like the color of these as much as the ones in the last video that I had bought. Lots and lots of early items in that booth. Take a quick peek over here. Thanks for bearing with me on this video, everybody. I really appreciate it. Some interesting items for glass and for art pottery. Steins, that's a whole nother collecting field. I actually did a sale, an estate sale, with an absolute ton of old steins one time. It was a whole collection of a gentleman that had collected for a very long time. And into this booth, I think this is a new vendor. I really like the red and white quilt back there, that applique or reverse applique. I think it's applique, but a lot of wear on the red. Really nice early blanket chest, probably Ohio or Pennsylvania. I love the gray color on that. $385. I think that's a bargain. I really do. If I had room for it, it would probably be going home with me, more than likely. And then down here, let's take a look in this booth. I think this is also a newer vendor. I had never seen this booth before. So we'll take a quick peek in here. So thanks again for joining in. I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate you subscribing and liking and sharing out my videos. And let's look at some of this glass. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful carnival glass. This one's carnival as well. I've always liked the purple color better, but that's just me. Baskets are fantastic. Still selling here in Ohio. And let's take a look at this booth. Lots of smalls in this booth. I think the last time, yeah, there was a ton of this Staffordshire flower jewelry and porcelain flowers, and there's always damage on these, which is so unfortunate. There's like always chips on these, and they just don't sell very well because I think people in general know that they're extremely fragile. There are still collectors for them, don't get me wrong. As I bump into so many things today, I'm so clumsy today. Jar with stones, those are probably some Native American artifacts, possibly. I'm going to look closer at that. And then tools and useful and kitchen. This case sometimes will come up with some fairly interesting jewelry items. So I'm going to have to take a closer look in here eventually. And let's go across the way. I have a greater tendency to buy things out of this one as well. I mean, I always say, like, every booth I walk into, you're probably thinking, is there a booth you don't buy out of? Just depends on the trip. Oh, I love this, by the way. This is fantastic. An old cash register, and that's $699. And National Cash Register, this is a fantastic model, very ornate, all original. Really nice. We had one at auction. It was slightly smaller than this, and I think it sold for $4.25. So that's about right for a full retail price. It might be a little bit heavy-handed, in my humble opinion, but I'm not a cash register connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination. There were some interesting things in this booth the last time. I'll have to study this one before we leave. There was a lamp in this booth the last time, and it's not there anymore. So obviously I had pretty good taste that day because it sold. And then up above, there's a lot of items hanging. And this is a booth that I always think I'm going to find something in. And every time I just don't. But there's tons of little jewelry stuff. It's all individually priced, and tons of costume rings, and then tie bars, cufflinks, bracelets, brooches. Some of these might be signed. They probably are. And then the little cubbies and compartments, tons of earrings. And you would expect to have to go through all of these and look and see if any are gold or gold filled. Lots of necklaces hanging. And it's nice to have these displayed so appropriately, because then they're not all tangled up and in a big ball by the end of, 1 week of people shopping. So I'll have to come back and take a quick peek today and see if I can find a treasure or two. Beautiful rhinestone set already. You know, I can kind of look in a booth. You look across the whole booth, and then, of course, the one thing I'm like, hey, what about that? Right there. So might have to take a quick peek at that and see what we've got going on. There's a whole other back room here, too, filled with furniture and larger items. But since I'm not in the market for that, I didn't really want to waste my time going back there. But I just wanted to bring you along again for another Come Shop With Me video. And this is down in Berlin, so it's kind of a continuation from the last Come Shop With Me video. And the only reason why I'm able to do this one and be a little bit louder and a little bit more intentional is because there's really not that many shoppers today. So it's kind of quiet and not too many people. Ooh, look at these. For art glass, Millefiori art glass pendants, heart-shaped. Some interesting clip-on earrings. Let's spin this around and go slow for my viewers with vertigo so I don't upset anyone. So, boy, yeah, I might have to take a look in there. And then a lot of rhinestone stuff and costume jewelry down here. So I'm going to have to go through this in a little bit. And interestingly enough, I did buy a paperweight out of this area the last time. And then, oh, I forgot, I bought a whole bunch of half dolls out of this case, and they do have some of the figural Dresden lace ballerinas, and then a few of the dresser boxes, and 2 of the half dolls that I didn't buy, but I think I bought 11 half dolls, boudoir pincushion dolls the last time I was here, and they were very moderately priced. I think between, I don't know, maybe $8 and $12, something like that. So, but you can see how much we have to choose from. in Ohio. It's just laden with tons of antiques, and this is kind of a tourist area per se, that people come from the cities to get away from city life and have more of an experience with rural life. And for those of you who like ASMR, I can't stand clocks. I don't know, they've always kind of bothered me. And I think it's because I know that time is passing. And I don't know, I'm just kind of not a fan of hearing that. I don't know, it's never really made me calm. Watching goldfish in an aquarium, that's very calming to me. But clocks, not so much. Ooh, look at these. Early sleigh bells. Very old strap there, and almost complete. I think missing one. $119, that is not a bad price. And then that other strap there. Those are really, I don't know, they've always held their value. Oh, Christmas bulbs. Too bad none of them are really old. Take a look here at this wall. And then one of my other favorite booths that I always have luck in is this one. It goes for quite a way. And a lot of stuff in here to where I always find something. So maybe, just maybe, we'll be lucky enough to see me reach for something and to buy something. Let's see, that one's $14. I don't think that that's old. This looks like St. Clair, at least made in St. Clair style. This one looks more Chinese, not a fan. This one, you know, it's looking like Murano, but with the foot that looks like that. See how, well, I shouldn't say clumsy. See how the craft is not great on that edge, and it's not ground and polished. That's Chinese. That's not Murano. At least to me, it's not. That color is interesting, but again, more contemporary, haphazard finish on the bottom of that one as well. Not a bad price, you know, 11, 14, 12, and 14, 50. So not bad prices, but just not right for me. Just not quite there. But like I said, I'm extremely picky these days because of the move and consolidating down. You know, I'm just being more picky. Lots of early tools for our people that like early tools and forged iron. And occasionally for my studio, I will look for a file or something to finish metal with, or calipers to mark metal. This is really cool. Old beer cans, that's really interesting. Old tins, oil containers, and there's a ton of stuff up above. So, Jeremy, did you find anything? No? I'll be right out, okay? Well, Jeremy's getting ready to jet out of here, so I'm going to finish out this last little bit of a row. I think this is going to be a quick feed, so unfortunately we didn't find much at this one, but again, you know, you got to remember that we do have so much to choose from, and usually when we come here, we'll spend anywhere between, you know, on the low end, 100 to 200, and on a higher end, sometimes we've left these places spending, you know, 600 or 800. And today just wasn't that day. We just, you know, didn't find much, but that's okay. And like I said, we're just extremely picky in what we're willing to buy. And when you're in it to resell, you have to be careful. But this is another one of my areas that sometimes I have found some things on these shelves. Again, I always look low and I look high because people have a tendency to shop at eye level. And you know, the hottest areas would be here, obviously, you can see how sparse those are with things that have sold, and then you look down here and look how congested because people don't look down, and that's where some of the biggest values and the biggest treasures are. Pyrex, and that's a really nice one. That's a nice set. That's $300, and that's a beautiful set, that turquoise color, and that's Pyrex as well. I love seeing the different colors nesting together. I think that's interesting. And two more contemporary paperweights. Those are definitely Chinese, but very cool. Well, I'm up towards the front of the shop, and so I'm going to kind of cut the video off because there are customers checking out, and we're running a little bit late. So, ooh, this is fantastic though. So, but I'll definitely be back in touch with you very, very soon. And you know how I end this. I love you.